All right, welcome back to the Kings of Opinion, episode 59. We got the Wanderer here with me, as always. Say hello, Wanderer.
Thanks for stopping by.
There we go. So, my rant for this week, right?
What do you got?
So, I know you work from home sometimes or whatever. So, are you ever at work and like you're trying to run out of the building or wherever, the office, and like, you know, either you got somewhere to be or even if you don't, even if you just want to get the hell out of Dodge, right?
Yeah.
And you know, someone sees you, they say hello or goodbye, whatever.
Right.
And normally you would keep it moving, right? Like a normal thing.
Yeah.
What about the people that want to have a 15-minute chat with you when you're walking out the door? Meanwhile, it's not like I'm not carrying anything. I got my gym shirt in one hand, my lunchbox in my other hand,
Right.
and I'm like literally walking 10 feet from my car.
Yeah.
And they want to know, you know,
Probably done for the day.
yeah, haven't seen you in a while, pal. What are you doing? You know, how are things? What's going on with you? And I want to say, get the F out of my way. I want to go home. We can talk about this tomorrow in the morning if you want. Come see me.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I'll talk to you all day.
Phone works.
Right, yeah. Well, he's not like a guy like that. It's just like a guy that you see in passing. Like,
Yeah.
he may work on another side of a building or another office or whatever.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, does that ever happen to you?
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been in similar situations. Probably not as much as you. But yeah, it's got to be frustrating when, you know, the clock's ticking and trying to get back or you have somewhere to be. And they're not reading
Right.
body language.
And it's like you're trying to like if I start talking to you like this and I'm like right here and I start like drifting away like towards my car and then I give you the whole turnaround and like then the conversation starts one way and it just keeps going like, oh, this happened with my family and you know my wife got me this and that and you know
Social cues.
and I'm like, guy, it's time for me to go home.
Right.
Like I've been here all day.
Yeah.
Can we do this another time? Like
I gotta hurry up and wait in traffic.
Right, like you know, like I want to eventually get home. Like you're setting me up for failure. Like you wasted 8 minutes of my time today. And I'm like,
Yeah.
8 minutes,
At that time, at that point of the day too, it's
Yeah.
more precious. It seems.
right? And it's like, how about how you doing? How's everything? I haven't seen you in a while. All right, yo, have a good night, get home safe, kind of thing. And then you know, next time you see me, you could ask you know, how's your life been? Like, what are you, my life coach? Like, I don't understand. Like, do you really care even, or are you just being nice?
Right.
Because that pissed me off even more. Like, I talk to you in passing, like.
Yeah. Where's this coming from?
Yeah, like, you know, like, oh, okay, great, you haven't seen me in a while. There's probably a reason for it. It's the summertime, like, I'm going on vacation, or I'm not around as much. Like, it's not winter where you have to be at work all the time, because you got nothing else better to do. It's the winter. You know? Like, I don't get it. Like,
Yeah. It's gotta be frustrating.
it's annoying. I don't know. And that just happened, and I'm like, what is going on here with this? Like, God, do you see my car's already started? Like, I'm not even in the car yet. Like, I'm going home,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Ugh, so annoying. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, how about those Rangers, huh?
Yeah. That was some game Sunday. Didn't get to. I started watching it when it was 2-2, and then I got to see them go up by 2 goals and then give up that lead, and then thankfully they were able to get the first goal in overtime. But yeah, especially after Friday night too, they held on late. It was overtime Friday as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to get the win, so definitely a big shift in momentum. So hopefully they can keep that going tonight.
Yeah. So what's
I think
weird?
They play tonight, right?
They do play tonight. That's why I led with them first tonight because they're the only New York team left in the playoffs. But so it was a tale of two different games, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Friday they were behind the 8 ball the whole time, and then they pulled it out in overtime. And then Sunday it was almost the exact opposite. They were ahead for a little bit, gave up.
Too quick.
Yeah.
I know Florida scored rather quickly to tie it.
Yeah, it was like it had to be within a minute or two because we're at our barbecue, our friend's barbecue, Paulie's, and we're over there cooking things up, and they're winning 4-2, and all of a sudden I sit back down and it's 4-4. I'm like, what's going on? Then we go into overtime, and they win again in overtime. So I mean, if they can keep the game close, I don't see why they can't finish this series out right away. Like I know Florida's tough, and like everyone's expecting them to win tonight, but if they're gonna win tonight, they gotta have like a commanding lead going into the third period.
Yeah.
And even then, you're not really safe because you've seen
The blitz.
you've seen the Rangers come back down 3 goals. I know it was against the Hurricanes, but they're another good team. So,
Right.
you could do something like that in hockey. It seems like no problem, So, I don't know. I'm wishing them good luck tonight. I really wouldn't mind if they just put these guys away rather quickly.
Yeah, hopefully they can get it done and go up, take what it would be a 3-1 lead then.
Yeah, it'd be 3-1 lead. And then, the next game, what's today? Tuesday, I guess would be either Thursday or Friday. Not entirely sure because hockey, just like basketball, is a little funny sometimes. You never know, like, if the travel day, they get an extra day. So, we'll just see. But it's at least Thursday or Friday. Here, let's see. 5:30. So it'll be Thursday. Yeah, the next game will be Thursday at Madison Square Garden. So that's, 2 days from now. That's pretty good. But yeah, it seems like the Rangers don't sweat overtime. Like they expect to win in overtime. They've been so good with it lately. And I guess that's what you need to get to the Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, too, in that game Sunday, a lot of big saves by Shesterkin. Is that how you say it?
Sure.
Because, when the Panthers mounted their comeback, it seemed like they were on that side of the ice for the whole time, and he was just getting peppered with shots. So, some big saves by him, and helped them emerge victorious.
Okay, so I have a problem
Sure.
with Igor Shesterkin, however you pronounce his last name.
Right.
No offense, but my thing is this. So yeah, he made a lot of big saves late, but he gave up 4 goals nonetheless, and especially 2 of them within a matter of minutes, if even that, when they were up 4-2. So I'll give him the credit for once it's tied, keeping the Rangers in the game and making a bunch of hell of a good saves. But where were those saves before where then they wouldn't have had to sweat overtime out? They could have won
Right.
4-2.
That's a good point. And I did see a stat, too, that popped up during after the game was tied at 4, that the Rangers had lost 42 straight when giving up 4 goals.
Wow.
So, way to break that.
Yeah.
Hell of a time to break that.
Hell yeah, that's some streak, and that's not a good one, but that's some streak. Wow. But yeah, that's my only gripe, and everyone's gonna say he's playing phenomenal and he's this and he's that, but are you really playing? My question to him would be: are you really playing phenomenal when you're giving up 4 goals? And I know hockey's a team sport like other sports where he can't be blamed on every goal. But if he was really phenomenal, like Richter and Lundqvist and any of these other really great goalies that win Stanley Cups, where they only let up a goal or 2 a game, they go on these runs, it's almost like they save their best work for in the playoffs, where in the playoffs they just ride it high and they 1 or 2 goals a game, the offense gets them, 1 more than what you gave up, and you just keep winning like that. I feel like he's given up 3 goals every game, and to me, that's not that good. You know what I mean? I don't know. People are going to say there's more to it, and I get it if there is more to it, but I just remember when I used to watch hockey years ago where guys are giving up either the shutouts, 1 or 2 goals. To me, that's phenomenal. I don't care how many shots on goals you get. If you pitch a shutout or 1 goal, you're having a great game.
Right.
You only made 1 mistake, let's put it that way, where this guy made 4 mistakes and 2 really big mistakes in the third period, So, I don't know. But anyway, so we got, I guess a little bit of news. The Boston Celtics are going to the finals. Whip-de-doo.
The sweep.
Yeah.
Sweep is complete.
Yeah.
The
But
chalk from the East is in the finals.
we knew that was going to happen, though, once the Knicks didn't play them, because I didn't think Indy was going to give them much of a fight. And,
Right.
they did during the game.
I think Halliburton was out too, right?
Yeah. They just didn't give much of a fight. They kept it close, but you could see, it was almost like Boston was just playing with them a little bit, keeping it close, and then that's it.
Food.
Yeah, So, not much there. We'll see. They'll see them in the finals, and hopefully on the other side from the West, who's playing right now? The Mavericks and
Timberwolves.
Okay. All right.
And Dallas is up 3 games to none.
And who's on the Timberwolves? That's why they're so good.
Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. I'd say those are their top guys.
That's their big three.
There you go.
And right now you said the Mavs have a 3-0 lead.
Yeah. Luka is getting it done. Kyrie's playing well. The rest of the team, they're firing on all cylinders. So it's looking. It's looking like you're going to have Celtics Mavericks championship. Well, Kyrie's one of Kyrie's former teams.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny how Kyrie, like, all they do is talk good about him on that team now. Where, like, when he was with the Nets, he was a troublemaker, basically. It's kind of funny. Way to stick it into the Net fans and, like, the Brooklyn Nets team in itself, man.
And you got to think, too, like, with the Celtics, it's got to be this year, right? Like, if they don't win, it's got to be considered like a failure, I would think, at this point.
I would agree with you. I guess one of the reasons, I don't know how many reasons we come up with, but one of them would have to be like, this is like a historical run for them only because, like, they've had the easiest, like, path to the finals.
Right.
So, like, now...
Yeah, they haven't really played anybody that put up a fight.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think they swept almost everybody through it.
Well, they lost the game to Miami.
But there was only one, right?
Yeah, only one.
They swept the first round.
And did they lose the game to some? I think they might have lost one more game.
Really?
But, that was it.
Okay. Because they didn't lose any of the Pacers. They lost one to Miami. Is that the first round, Miami?
Maybe they lost one to Cleveland. I'm not sure.
Oh, you might be right. Maybe they did lose one to Cleveland. I'm not sure. But either which way, they've been dominant. It's been so easy, almost carefree. Now they're going to have to play like a really good team in the West. And you're right. If they lose, it's a failure. I kind of hope they do lose. Nobody likes Boston.
Well, we'll see.
If you live in New York, you don't like Boston. You may like to go visit there every once in a while, but you don't like Boston. That's not really a thing. So, whatever. Now we'll go to, it's kind of funny how you, we've been so wrapped up in, like, the basketball and hockey. We haven't really been paying too much attention to baseball.
Well, me especially, because the Mets seem to be imploding pretty steadily. So
Yeah.
my interest is not what it was a few weeks ago, I would say. I think it was Friday. I was watching. They were up 5-2 or something like that. Then they ended up losing. I think the Giants scored like 5 runs in the 8th or something like that. I'm not really sure how the rest of the series how the rest of the series went, to be honest with you.
I know they lost 3 in a row to the Guardians. I think that was last week, the beginning of last week.
Right.
They've been on a downward spiral for probably the last week and a half.
Yeah.
Because last we checked on them, they were right around, I think they were like 20-23 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're 22-30.
Oh, wow.
So it hasn't been really good for them. However, an early update, because I didn't realize the Mets were playing right now. They're winning 2-0.
Oh, that was a 4:00 start.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
We got it on in the background right now. So it's bottom of the 7th.
Leading against the Dodgers.
Yeah, beating the Dodgers right now. That's pretty good. Yeah, who knew exactly? It's not bad. You could be doing worse right now. So you got that going on. And then we got the toast of the town, the New York Yankees, which it's funny, they've been doing so good. It seems like they can't lose a series.
Oh, they did win. I'm sorry. The Mets did win Sunday.
Oh, that's good.
First win in a while. Since last Sunday. They only win on Sundays apparently.
Right. So Sundays is MLB's day to give the Mets a win.
There you go.
Like, you can win only on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is awful. They have more talent than that. And then right now there's all these rumors that they're going to be trading a bunch of people in the near future, which, it's a little overreactionary right now if you think about it, because it's just past Memorial Day. So you get a little sense, like at around this time, where your team might be in the near future. But you know, to trade or to start throwing names out there like Lindor and Alonso as like trade bait now, like you know, give them another month. Like let's get through June. Let's go. I think the next marker should be 4th of July.
Right.
Where do they stand on 4th of July? Because we did this with them, and by we I mean like I guess your Mets
Did they get rained out
fans.
last night?
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah. They didn't play yesterday.
Gotcha.
Were they supposed to play the Dodgers yesterday?
Yeah, I believe so. If there's 2 games today.
I didn't even know if there was 2 games today. I just thought that this was an early game, so I guess.
I think it's 2 games.
Yeah, so they're back to back. So they're gonna not even a split doubleheader. They're gonna go a real doubleheader.
I believe so.
Yeah, they would have to because this game's almost over. It's almost 6 o'clock, so the next game will probably start around 7.
Right.
You know, because they're in Citi Field, right?
Yeah, 2 games. Yep.
Yep.
They're playing 2.
So, with all that being said, with all this nonsense that they got going on, like you give it to 4th of July. That would be like my cutoff. And then if they're still crappy, then you start trying to make moves and but you got to get good stuff back. Because if you're not going to get good stuff back and people are going to like lowball you, then keep your guys and just play it out and see what happens. You never know. Especially in the National League last year, there were guys, the teams that made the playoffs, and they were under 500.
Right.
So if, you know they're not that bad. They're 22-30. Like you go on a nice little win streak, you could catch up. I remember they started the season off 0-5, and everyone was like ready to write them off. And then they came back, won a bunch of games. Then they were right at 500, and now they're taking another dip. Like they're just gonna be around 500 all year long. Mm-hmm. You just gotta hope for a spike at some point to get them over 500 and keep them in the playoff contention. And then you never know what's gonna happen. Because it's baseball. That's why they have so many games. Right now, you're looking at a little over 50 games you played. Depending on what, you know, how your schedule worked out, you probably played anywhere from 53 to 55 games. So, you know, you got a third of the season down, basically.
Right.
You still got 2/3 left. If you have a good 2/3, even just barely, you get 2-3 games over 500, you might make a playoff. You know? So, I don't know. I wouldn't do anything yet. I would just maybe try to move some people around, get some people that are playing that are hot.
Well, you know, 2 against the Dodgers would be nice.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, doubleheaders are always tough to sweep. So if they do that, that's great. That's not an easy thing to do.
I'm getting ahead of myself already because usually they lose late too.
Right, exactly. And it's what are we only in the top of the 8th right now?
This is when they usually lose, I think.
Yeah, top of the 8th. Oh, the Mets must have had like 2 home runs or something like that because they only have 2 hits. No wonder.
It's pretty economical.
Yeah. So they're still not hitting, but at least they got a couple runs out of it. But yeah, so then you go to crosstown, the Yankees. They're 37-18. They probably should be 40-15, but you know it is what it is. You're gonna lose a couple of games here and there. With the Yankees right now, they still have key injuries, that guys that haven't come back yet, and they're just rolling right now. So, you know, I try to watch as many games as I can. Judge is on fire in May. I do not want to see June come around because I just hope he still hits like he did in May, because he's probably the best ball player in all of baseball right now for May. Like he's hit a bunch of home runs. He may even lead. He may even lead the league in home runs now. I would have to check.
Maybe he'll get player of the month.
Yeah, he might. I hate this because I can't ever find the stats on here. But yeah, I mean the Yankees are doing real good. They have one of the, if not the best, one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. They don't have a guy that has an ERA over 3.29 for their rotation, so that's really good. They just won 2 out of 3 against San Diego. They're on the West Coast, so we all know how that is with the West Coast trips. Those are kind of wild because of the flight. You know what I mean? So it could be, you know, it could be a tough road trip. But right now they took the first series to San Diego. Now they're playing the Angels starting tonight. So let's see what they do with those guys. Yeah, so right now he's tied for second in home runs, only behind Tucker, who's the Astros,
Right.
and then what is it, Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles. They're both tied. They have 17.
Okay.
So after only hitting a couple home runs in April, he's hit the rest in May, and he's gotten his average up over 100 points this month. So let's just hope he keeps going. And you still got Soto. Soto's been as consistent as ever so far. I was watching interview on MLB Network with him, and what was the guy was it Harold
Reynolds?
Yes, thank you. Jeez, I was gonna say Harold Raines, but I would have been wrong. Harold Reynolds was talking to him at Yankee Stadium, I guess the last homestand, asking him how he likes New York and this, that, and the other thing. Does the Dominican descent have anything to do with it? He's like, yeah. Like all the answers he was given, it seems like he just loves New York and loves being a Yankee. I really hope we get to re-sign him. Hal Steinbrenner came out and was talking nonsense about you can't sustain this $300+ million payroll, which is something I don't like to hear.
Right.
But you can't let that guy go. He's a monster.
Yeah.
Like he's hitting over 300. He's got 14 homers, 44 RBIs already, and we're not even done with the second month. If you tally that up, he's close to 140 RBIs if he stays at that pace. His OPS is almost 1,000. There we go. Nice little.
Did he
No,
step on the bag?
I don't think you have to when something like that's happening. When it's a tailor-made double play, you come across the bag so you don't get hurt.
Okay.
As long as you catch the ball and you don't fumble it or do whatever.
You got a little distracted there, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he touched.
In fact, they touch it. So yeah, like he's over his career batting average and all this other stuff. Like I don't know. There's not much you could say. Like you want me to nitpick? I'll nitpick right now. I need them to get rid of Gleyber Torres. He's absolute garbage. I've been hearing my dad say it for like the last year and a half, and he's right. Like I tried to say he was all right last year. Like as far as the second baseman, he was good, but at this point, I can't even defend him anymore. He just looks so awful, and I guess he's the type of guy that when he's in his head, he can't do anything right. Like how some guys slump one way or another, either in the field or at the plate.
Right.
And they don't take it to either spot.
Yeah.
He takes it to both. So if he's hitting poorly, he's going to field poorly. And he makes bonehead mistakes while he's fielding. And it's just so annoying. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I look at him and, I played baseball a large part of my life. So like, I have a feel for it, even though I didn't play at their level.
Right.
But with baseball, what you were doing when you were in high school or even like before that, you're doing here. You're just doing it quicker and better. So like there's not much more, mechanics involved or anything else. Like it's just, you know how to field a ground ball, you know how to throw. And you just do it over and over and over and over again. So I don't understand what his problem is fielding wise. Just like I don't understand what happened with Beatty just there where he went to just throw the ball at first and it just like,
This is how it starts.
yeah, it just lollipopped out of his hand. Like I don't understand. Like it's in his hand right now, and he's getting ready to throw it, and he just slips out of his hand.
I've never seen that.
I mean, either. Like how he was in the motion, and then
Like,
as he's coming forward, it drops out.
I thought it was going to be on the transfer, but
It wasn't. It was literally as he's coming forward, it falls out of his hand. And now look, are you telling me right now Otani's coming up to the plate with two guys on? This is awful.
that's how it starts.
Yep, here it comes. We're gonna be on the air while we see them lose. This is gonna be great. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I can't really complain. Stanton is doing good too. Actually, he's hitting 60 points over last year's batting average. He's hitting home runs. If those three guys keep doing what they're doing, I don't see the Yankees losing a lot of games this year. And then my only criticism is going to be when they come into the playoffs and they break my heart. Like they got to hit in the playoffs. If they don't hit in the playoffs this year, I'm going to lose my mind.
Right.
On the injury front, DJ LeMahieu should be back sometime this road trip. He was supposed to be back for the Angels game tonight, but I haven't heard anything at all today if he was coming back. So I don't know if he's playing tonight or if he was even activated. So I'm gonna assume that if he's not activated today, they're gonna have to wait for the next stop on their trip, which will be San Francisco, and that starts on Friday. And then Garrett Cole pitched a live batting practice session on last Tuesday. He looked good. Assuming he's in Tampa right now, continuing to do that, because I don't know if he made the West Coast trip. So we'll see. I wonder if he's at the game today. So he's coming along great. They say he might even be back by sometime in June, which is awesome because he threw 20 pitches off the mound to a couple of the guys during batting practice, and everything looked good, everything seemed good, everything was on the up and up. So hopefully we get lucky and he comes back a little earlier, and then it gives us more depth in the bullpen, because right now, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, we need some more help in the bullpen, which is normally not a problem for us, but I guess because we had so many departures last year and then a few injuries in the bullpen early, that we could use a couple guys to help out in the bullpen.
Okay.
I just don't know who that person's going to be, because what starter are you taking out right now?
Right.
You got the rookie Heel, who's
Everybody's pitching well.
yeah, and he's pitching the best. And his only issue is he hasn't pitched more than 108 innings, and that was 2 years ago because he had Tommy John. And they're not saying that he has a limit.
Right, and they're not gonna mess with him either.
Right, but they're not saying like, oh, he's only pitching 100 innings this year, where he's already pitched like 50, which means you'd only have him for maybe a month and a half if he was a starting pitcher. So you would assume they'd put him to the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you when he's literally pitching to a 2.11 ERA,
Right.
and he doesn't really give up any runs. Like his last couple starts,
Yeah.
he's gave up 2 runs in 3 starts.
It's not broke.
Don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
You know? And he's 6-1. Like he's an early Cy Young candidate, but can you really keep him in the starting rotation, like risking another injury when he just came off Tommy John? Like, I don't know. Like, they have all these machines and tests that they do now, so like maybe they know better. But if you're not going to put him in the bullpen, then who are you going to put? Clark Schmidt? He's also pitching good. His ERA is under 3 right now. Nestor Cortez, maybe he's the guy. I think he's the one with the highest ERA right now, because Stroman just pitched into the 8th and gave up no runs, and then wound up not getting the win on that day. He pitched 7 1/3 innings. So, safe. Wow. So it's a good problem to have, I guess, eventually when Garrett Cole comes back. But if these guys keep pitching the way you're pitching, what are you going to do? Like, who are you going to take out? Because then you don't even know how they're going to pitch in the bullpen. Like, that might be a total different thing.
A good dilemma to have, right?
Yeah. It's just whether or not whoever you put in the bullpen will be able to withstand, like, making that adjustment. Because that adjustment usually is a lot harder for some people than others, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know how that's going to go. But, I guess we'll deal with it when it comes. You never know. Something could happen between then and there, and then all of a sudden you get Garrett Cole back.
There's always injuries in baseball, right?
Tons. And with pitchers even more so nowadays, you know? So we'll see what happens. Was that Ohtani just there?
No, he was already on the first.
Oh, okay. So he was the one that hit the ground ball up the middle. Oh, that was Freddie Freeman. So right now the Mets are up 2-1. On the top of the 8th with 2 outs, first and second. We'll see what happens after this. Is Mookie Betts next, or he was already up?
No, he was already up.
Okay. Now let me tell you, Freddie Freeman is a piece of work, man. He's a really good hitter. Just his approach at the plate, very nice. Braves should have never let him go. Should have just paid the man. Anyway, let's move on. What else do we got? You got anything more on sports related?
No, I think we covered it pretty much.
All right, so let's go
No
to
football news, right?
No, not well, probably, but I can't bring my heart to start following football right now. Like even
Yeah.
I get emails from what is it,
Still too early.
Matthew Berry.
Yeah, well, that's fantasy.
Yeah, but like they don't, those emails don't stop just because football's not happening. They're still like, oh, check out this wide receiver, check out this person, or who's going to be the best quarterback. Like, they're just filling stuff, and I'm like, you know what? It's not even June. Football, not till August, guys. Like, I'm not reading anything till August. Like, I need a break. Like, I need to enjoy baseball in the summer. Like, I just need a break with these things. Maybe go to the beach. Maybe I'll read it when I'm on the beach. I don't know. But yeah. So, what do we got? What were you watching? We were talking about it the other day.
I watched. I finished X-Men '97.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Right.
As you said. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
I did tell you.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when you're like, I only watched the first episode, I couldn't get into it.
Right.
I said, just keep going.
Yeah. No,
and
you were right. It was great. Definitely, like, I loved it. I think most fans did. So yeah, definitely looking forward to more of that sometime in the future. But I thought they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
For sure.
Season 2 will probably be out next year. They already did it, so they just
they did. Okay.
they just gotta wait. Yeah, they did it all in one shot. They
Yeah.
did 2 seasons.
I'm trying to think what else I watched. Oh, I also watched The Holdovers.
Oh, before we get to the holdovers,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to get back to the X-Men.
Yes.
So, I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you watched it,
Yeah.
it's only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, I guess my question is, did you watch one episode a night?
No, probably more.
Did you kind of like wander binge watch it is what I'm asking? Like basically watch maybe like 2 or 3 a night?
Yeah, I would say I was watching at least like 2 a day, probably.
Okay, that's
Maybe
all I needed
more,
to know.
Maybe more. Yeah.
So you thought it was like a mini movie? It was like a movie you were watching, basically,
Yeah,
right?
I went through it within probably 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, like I'm jealous that you got to just watch it all like
right,
that.
you were waiting for it.
Every week I had to wait for an episode, and rightfully so. It was so good. Like
Yeah.
every episode but one, I felt like was like a mini, like a short movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on with this show?
Yeah.
The only bad episode was that Jubilee episode. I think it was
Oh, you
episode
didn't
5.
like that one, the video game one?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool concept. I just think they did it with the wrong
Mojo,
character.
Mojo?
Yeah, they just did it with the wrong character. Like, it's almost like they wanted to throw Jubilee
Yeah, it was definitely
a bone.
It was definitely kind of like a break in the action, I guess.
And it had nothing to do with the storyline,
right,
too.
that's
Which
what I mean. It wasn't.
Yeah.
To the big picture, it wasn't really that important.
which is why I didn't like the episode.
Right.
And it was like
It's
2
kind of like a
parts.
freestyle episode. I guess.
Yeah, which I don't think they really needed. Like, you could have done something else.
Right.
All right, so to holdovers.
Yeah. So I watched the Holdovers.
Is that with Paul Giamatti?
Yeah.
It's this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. And?
It was really good. I had heard, I saw the trailer, I think, at the movies, way back, probably the last time I was at the movies. And I had heard it was good, and yeah, I enjoyed it. It was on Prime. Yeah, it takes place in like 1969, I guess, or the end of 1969.
Okay.
And yeah, it was, it's like a private boys' school, so entitled assholes, I guess.
Right,
you could
right,
say.
okay.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. The cast was great.
Comedy?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Like comedy drama, I guess,
Yeah,
at some
there you
points?
go. I would say that would be
Right.
a perfect description.
Okay.
So yeah, I forget the actress's name, but she was like a cook. She was like the cook. She was great too. Yeah, so highly recommend that.
Okay. I'll definitely try and check that out. 'Cause
Oh.
I've seen that on there, and I pass it over.
And then I also watched Dune that came out on HBO for
The part 2 one?
Yeah, for the holiday weekend.
Okay.
So it took me a couple sittings.
3 sittings?
Yeah, I think it was either 2 or 3. But yeah, so it was good. I liked it. I think maybe it was a little overhyped for me because sometimes when people do that, I expect more.
Right.
But it was good. I enjoyed it. So And then I think they're gonna have like a series or something.
Really?
In the future.
Did they give you at all a recap of the first movie or not?
No, that's another thing too. When I told my friend when I told my friend that it came out on HBO, he's like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna watch the first one again." And I guess if you have the time, because it's long.
Yeah, it's so
It's
long.
probably a good idea because, yeah, that like me.
You were lost?
For me, not lost, but there's it's a lot of stuff.
I don't think I'll be watching Dune anytime soon because I watched that probably 2 years ago. I don't remember much about the first one,
Right.
so I would probably, in order to enjoy the second one, have to watch the first one and then watch the second one.
Refresh the memory.
Yeah, so you're looking at 6 hours of TV time, which you probably can't even get that done in a weekend.
Yeah,
you probably,
it's a commitment.
yeah, you probably have to start it on a Wednesday and bang out the first movie Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Right.
and then bang out the second one Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Or at least you could finish it on a Saturday, but watch half of it in the afternoon and then go back to it at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. But I don't know.
What about you? Did you watch anything?
Okay, so I'm still on Curb.
Oh, right. What season are you on Curb?
Now I'm on season 4.
Wow.
I think I'm 2 or 3 in,
Okay.
and I'm slowly starting to like it more.
Nice.
Because the jokes are, I guess, better. I would say, or
Right.
he's just, to me, Larry David is just so relatable. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
He's like a rich version of me. The things that happen to him happen to me on a daily basis,
Right.
and I just look at him. I'm like, this guy's gonna get into shit again. He's always getting into shit.
Right.
And it's because of his personality and persona.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like that. Shit just happens to me because I just have bad luck.
Right. Right.
But he does it to himself. There was one with Ben Stiller when he's doing a Broadway play with Mel Brooks, the producers, I think it is.
Yeah.
And I just finished watching that episode today, but it was almost like it strung along for a little bit. So Ben Stiller winds up quitting because he's like, it's either Larry David or me. And Mel Brooks, I guess, loves Larry David, so he's like, you're out. But Larry David didn't shake his hand, and he has all good excuses, but no one ever believes him except for Mel Brooks. Everyone's like, even his wife right away is like, why didn't you shake his hand? His hand was out there. I didn't notice it. He sneezed in it. He's like, so you gotta shake his hand. He's like, but there's boogers on his hand.
Larry's got a lot of hang-ups like that.
Yeah, and I'm laughing. I'm like, he's not wrong, right? What he's saying is not wrong. But then Ben Stiller, when they're rehearsing, he's like, you've known me a long time. You think I would give you a snot hand? He's like, it was a dry sneeze. He's like, I wouldn't give you a snot hand. Who puts out a handful of snot to someone to shake? I'm like, he's not wrong either. But it's you get screwed in that moment, and it just wasn't that, right? Because then after that, he goes to his birthday party. He doesn't bring a gift, and then he's like, he said, don't bring a gift. I didn't bring a gift. He's like, they just say that you still got to bring. It's implied you just got to bring a gift. And they're not wrong. Either side is not wrong. If you're going to tell me it's a birthday party, don't bring a gift, I'm not bring a gift.
Right.
I'm not overthinking. If you're saying I don't want a gift, and that's what Larry David's doing. He's not overthinking. Oh, no gift? All right, good. I'm good.
Yeah.
But then again, you think back and how many times you're like, I don't want anything. We're just doing a dinner, whatever. But you always still bring something, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Yeah.
Then he brings him the beaded sweatshirt that Jeff's wife, was it Suzanne, I think?
Susie.
Yeah, Susie gives it, and he's nasty, and he looks at it, he's like, Bristol's like, what the hell's going on? And he hits him in the eye with the kebab stick, and it just gets all crazy after that. It's not laugh out loud funny, but it's just funny watching the shenanigans he gets into all the time.
Unfold.
Yeah. Or because he's the way he is, you know what I mean? And Ben Stiller calls him out. He's like, yo, just hop in the front after he drops his wife off to yoga.
The college sweatshirts that were bedazzled?
Yeah, exactly. And it's he drops his wife off at yoga and he's like, yo, hop in the front. Nah, I'm good. Who says that?
Right.
Get in the front, that's so weird.
Right.
You're not going to sit in the back and he's going to be driving around like he's driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
And I got Ben Stiller. Ben still wigs out and he's like, whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm a big baby. I should have got a baby seat for you, this, that, and the other. I was like, I'll just walk. He's like, no. And he drives away, drives him to the place. It's only 2 blocks away. He's just a lot, you know what I mean? So it's funny to me. So it's good. That part is good. And then I'm watching Fargo. I think hopefully tonight I'll be done with season 2.
What do you think?
Season 2 is really good. There's a lot of moving
going
parts.
on,
A lot going on. Like you have to pay attention.
Yeah,
More so on this one than the first season.
definitely. Yeah.
But
more characters.
yeah, a ton more characters, a ton more things going on. People dying left and right as usual.
Right.
But yeah, it's good. Like I'm on episode 8, like I think 20 minutes through episode 8. So I have literally that and then 9 and 10. So I'm hoping
Nice.
once we're done with this, I'll finish that tonight, and then we're good to go. But yeah, other than that, I did see. Okay, so
You saw a movie?
buckle up. This is the best, worst 80s action movie you will ever feast your eyes on, ladies and gentlemen.
What is that?
It's called Samurai Cop.
It's
There-
in the 80s?
100% in the 80s. The best way I could describe it is it's a bootleg Lethal Weapon movie.
Who's in it?
Couldn't even tell you.
Eric Roberts?
Nope.
No?
There's nobody really recognizable that you will know. Even if I said their name, you'd
How
be
did
like,
you stumble upon this?
my friend at work told me about it.
Okay.
He watched it a few
I was
times.
going to say, you just randomly
No,
found this?
no, I can't take credit for it. My friend at work told me about it.
Does he have a sword?
Nope. There are swords in it, but he doesn't have a sword.
Okay.
And it does have to do with like some kind of Japanese criminal enterprise.
Yakuza?
Maybe. I don't think they call it that. It's like the Kakuza or whatever it's called. It's bro, it's so bootleg. But I dare you to watch that hour-and-a-half movie on Tubi and not laugh your face off.
Okay, it's more of, okay.
It's more of that, like, it's so bad, but like
Right.
so good at the same
You
time.
get a kick out of
It was so good that the cult following for it, and this happened in the 80s. I think it was like, let's just say 85. So good and so bad that they made a sequel to it in 2015 because the cult following wanted it so bad.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm going to watch that sometime
Nice.
this week because I've been wanting to watch it because it keeps popping in my head. And it's on Tubi.
Okay.
And Tubi is the best.
Is that like a free app?
Yeah, it's a free app. Like if you have Apple TV, you could just download it, and it's free. They've got every single thing you could want. Like if I stopped working tonight, I would digitize myself and put myself in Tubi because it is so amazing. Like they have so many obscure movies in there. You might find like a diamond in the rough, and you'll enjoy like an hour and a half. The reason why I say it's so bad is because the acting's bad. Even some of the action is so bad. Like it's so cheesy and fake. Like it would be made for sci-fi, that movie right now. Like that's how bad it would be.
I see.
But it was made in the 80s when all these action movies were popping off. But it's so hilarious. Like some of the things you'll catch is funny. Like he's shooting a guy, and like I guess they ran out of money. You wouldn't even see any blood after he got shot and died. He'd be like, poof, poof, poof. And the guy would fall down, and you know he got like obliterated in the chest, and you would see no blood. And he'd like tuck under like the back of the house, and it's just, dude, it's so funny. You have to watch it. When you go home, you got an hour and a half, Tubi it, download it, and watch it.
All right.
100%. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. I got 3
Hit it up.
picks as usual before we depart. First up, we have Cooking Soul, Raw Tapes Volume 1, Beats. Next up, we have Mike Shab with Suicide 3. And third, Guilty Simpson with Block Runners. Those are the 3 picks for this week.
All right, cool. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed their Memorial Day yesterday and their weekend. I know yesterday was a little bit of a shitty day with the rain, but if you had a great weekend like I did on Saturday and Sunday, you're exhausted right now, and the Mets just tied, well, I should say the Dodgers just tied the game 2-2 before we get out of here, top of the ninth with no outs. So with that being said, the Mets are on their way to losing, and we're out of here, folks. So everyone enjoy your week. Hopefully you had a great Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you next week.
See you in the next cartoon.
That's right. Later.